I was curious, looking back at the Syracuse game, y'all were able to really sort of bottle up those inside zone runs that they sort of hit on some in the second quarter. Looking back at it, was that just sort of doing better at the line of scrimmage, sort of controlling things, or was it maybe just better sort of gap control, or what?
Yeah, they really popped us backside a couple times. Just a better job, with some backside discipline. They caught us a couple of times. I think one was for like 12, and maybe one was for maybe 20 off of cutbacks, where we just didn't do a good job. Our outside contained guy didn't squeeze like he needed to. We had one guy get up the field too high and got underneath us. So just some fundamental stuff. But yeah, we tightened it down. We did a really nice job. I mean, they popped a couple runs. I mean, obviously things were skewed. You got one run for however long it was, just like the completion. I think they averaged 17 yards of completion, but they only had 10 receptions. So, but one of them was 83 yards, and same thing with the big reverse. But we did a nice job. They really just had the one score, and that was on the big pass. So they popped a couple, but we settled in and did a nice job. The other two scores, obviously, 6-6 and the block punt. But it was just backside discipline.
Anybody with anything else for Coach?
Hey, Coach. Lawton Swan with Clemson Sports Talk. On the injury front, how are you guys looking? I know you kind of updated that yesterday, but you said Mike was day-to-day. How's he doing, and how did he look today?
Yeah, we're kind of same deal. We got several guys that are, this time of year, man, just if you're not hurting somewhere, you're probably not working. And so we got several guys that are kind of in that same category, just kind of day to day, nursing something. But Mike's he's getting better, and just be kind of one of those guys down to the wire, I think.
Dabo, this is Matt with the State. With the receivers, is Frank and Joe, are they still kind of battling out to see who's going to get the start each week, or is it still a situation where Joe's still not healthy and keep running Frank?
Yeah, it hadn't been a battle. It hadn't been a battle because, Joseph has not been able to do what he needs to do practice-wise. So, he's gotten better, but, he'll take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back. It's kind of been just a process for him, and you hate it for him, but that's where we are. But now hadn't been much competition for that. Just mainly due to just injury and being able to really practice like you need to practice to compete.
Yeah, though I don't know. This is Larry again. I don't know if you've been asked about Goodrich. He didn't play last week. Is there any sort of update on him?
He's better. I think he'll be ready to go. Could have held him. He was one of those guys nursing an injury last week, and we were hoping we could hold him. Just really didn't really feel like he was 100% ready to go, and we have other guys 100%. So we were only going to play him if we had to. But he's been a lot better this week. He's practiced well and seems to be moving really good without any sort of pain or anything. So expect him to be ready to go, a healthy version of him this week.
Hey, Coach, when you guys are evaluating young guys coming into the program like Brian Brzee, I know Coach Venable said that he was sort of like a sponge and didn't make the same mistake twice. Is that something you're able to do on the recruiting trail, and how valuable is that to what you guys have built?
Well, that's hard. It's hard. Some guys you can kind of diagnose that a little bit, but it's hard, until you start really coaching a guy. You never really know, at this level how they're going to transition from the mental standpoint. Sometimes guys are physically ready, like you just look and they're like, wow. They look like a junior in college, but mentally they've got a lot of maturity to do. There's just a lot going on. This is not an easy game to play, and especially at this level, especially in our defense. We do a lot of things, and the game is fast. So you really never know until you start coaching a guy. Sometimes, like I said, you can just kind of get a feel a little bit, but once you get in those meetings and you start piling up installation, and then you start putting the speed at this level and the competitiveness at this level and the physicality, you got to find that out as you go a little bit. But we do as much as we can, and we work as hard as we can to really try to diagnose where they are from a football IQ standpoint. Sometimes they just like Travis Etienne. I mean, he just had not been exposed to what we do offensively, and he was he was definitely our best runner with the ball as a freshman. But if you wanted to keep the quarterback upright, you couldn't ask him to go because he didn't really understand defense. He didn't understand pass protection. He didn't have the fundamentals of pass protection. So even though he was the most talented guy with the ball in his hands, you got to be able to be able to adjust. And so it took him a little while to kind of get to where we could trust him and within the scheme of what we do. But he is a smart football guy, but he just hadn't been exposed to stuff that we do just because of what he did in high school. So you just never know until you start coaching.
Dabo, speaking of pass protection, it looked like Pace had at least one pickup there Saturday, helping protect on blitz pickup. How has he progressed in that area?
Yeah, well, fundamentally and physically, he's ready. I mean, there's no concerns with him. As far as just technique, fundamentals, the fundamentals of pass protection. He's a natural. Biggest thing with him is just the communication, the identification, being on the same page with the line. Having his eyes on the right things, and just recognition. What's going on. So he's still growing in that area, but no problems at all from a physicality, fundamental ability to do it. It's just really really mentally being 100% confident on who he has.
We'll take one or two more for Coach if you got them.
I think Fred Davis had 23 snaps on Saturday. What's your evaluation of him just overall and how far he's come, I guess?
Who was it?
That's Fred Davis.
What is that?
Fred.
Oh, Fred. Oh, I thought you said Braden. I was trying to get Braden Davis. Fred's going to be a great player. He's a very natural guy. He's long, he's tough, and really made a big hit in the game. But he's got great instincts for it and making great progress, man. I'm excited about he and Malcolm, those two young guys getting better every day.
Yeah, but with Jackson Carman, how do you feel like he's played this year so far? How would you assess his play?
It's been really good. I mean, he's had a few bad plays, but if you stack up all the good ones he's had, that's a big stack, and the bad ones he's had is a really, really small stack. So he's a great player. He takes a lot of pride in what he does. Unbelievably physical. He's special. I mean, he is a special talent. But we challenge him every day. We coach him hard. We push him, and he responds. But he's had a great year. And again, he's had a few bad plays, but he's had a whole lot of good ones. That OL, a lot of those guys are playing a lot of snaps. So you go out there and play. We had 84 plays the other day. You play a bunch of plays like that. You might have a bad one here or there, but he's been awesome. Proud of him.